Okay, so now for the second part of the lecture, and this time let's talk about dissolution and liquidation of a corporation. So the corporate term is now perpetual. That is now the default, and that's why technically you can exist. No, the corporation can exist as long as it wants. No, as long as the stockholders or members want it to exist. However, no, even if it is now the default, there is still a choice on the part of the stockholders or members, or in the case of stock corporations, the incorporators, if they want to put in a corporate term. So they can decide 30 years only, 50 years. You can also go into dissolution if indeed you don't want to continue existing anymore as a corporation. So wala namang pilitan yan. The state will not force you, no, to continue operating if the stockholders no longer want to continue with the business, or if, let's say, the members of the corporation no longer wants to continue with its endeavors or activities. So how are corporations dissolved? There are three types. First, we have the voluntary dissolution, then the involuntary dissolution, and third, okay, we have the shortening of the corporate term, and finally, expiration of the term. So, four pala. No? Voluntarily, involuntarily, shortening the corporate term, and expiration of the term. Sorry about that. I thought there was only three. Okay. Now, first, let's talk about voluntary dissolution of a corporation. So, there are two types. Okay? Where there are no creditors affected. Okay, so take note, look into the corporation code. And then there is also the so-called instances when there are creditors who may be affected. So what happens? First is under the situation where no creditors are affected by the dissolution, so you need to call the a meeting. No, the directors, no, or the trustees must call a meeting, and then notices would be sent at least, let's say, 30 days no, prior to the meeting. It is a special meeting. It is called only for that purpose. Okay. Now, then they will vote on whether they would like to dissolve or not. And that is what? An affirmative vote of the stockholders owning at least 2/3 no, of the outstanding capital stock, or 2/3 of its membership. Okay. And then the copy of the resolution will now have to be certified by a majority of the board, or a majority of the board of directors, or a majority of the board of trustees. And then the resolution will now be filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission, and thereafter the SEC will issue the certificate of dissolution. Madali lang yung proseso. Why? Because there are no creditors who are affected. Meaning, walang pagkakautang, walang obligations yung ating korporasyon. Okay? But what about if creditors are affected? Okay? So, same voting requirements. Okay? So, same requirement for calling a meeting specifically for that purpose. So, 2/3 pa rin ng outstanding capital stock, or 2/3 of the members. But this time, instead of just, resolution, it is now called a petition. Okay? So, the petition to dissolve, no, again, will have to be filed with the SEC and signed by the majority of the board or other officers which manage the affairs of the corporation. Okay? And since there are now creditors who will be affected by the dissolution, then it must set forth all claims and demands against the corporation. So, naka-itemize, may listahan ng sino mga may utang. Let's say, Bank A, Bank B, or the different suppliers, everything. If there are pending cases against the corporation that might result, let's say, in an award against it, it must also be included. Okay? Now, if the petition is found to be sufficient in form and substance, then the SEC shall, you know, issue an order, no, fixing a date, no, on or before this date, the objections may be filed by any person, okay, and the order will be now published, usually in newspaper, no, of general circulation. Basta kailangan may notification. Why? Because there are outstanding creditors. So merong mga creditors, and the creditors, all those who have claims against the corporation, must be informed. Okay, so it must also be posted, no, in the city, no, or municipality, which is considered as the principal office of the corporation which wants to dissolve. And after matapos yung time, no, okay, so nagkaroon na ng time para ma-notify yung mga existing creditors, no, and once it is now over, no, let's say 30-day period is now over, then hearings, no, will now be conducted. Okay, sino attend doon sa mga hearings na yon? Syempre yung mga may objections to the proposed dissolution of the corporation. Okay. Now, once, no, everything is now in order, then the SEC will now render judgment, no, dissolving the corporation and directing the disposition of its assets, no, based on what? Based on whatever the plan is. Meaning, kasundo-sundo ba? Sino ba yung mga may secured obligations o may unsecured debts? Everything. All these creditors must be given the opportunity to be paid. Now, this is related to our discussion earlier on the trust fund doctrine. Okay? Because this serves as the assurance that the creditors will now have something, no, for which their claims will be satisfied. Okay? Now, take note that a receiver may be appointed by the SEC, no, to collect the assets and pay the debts of the corporation. And this is not a short-term, no, a short-term thing. Medyo pwedeng humaba ito kasi syempre nga magbabayad pa or liquidate pa syempre ng assets ng corporation in order to pay the creditors, or at least come up with a plan for the creditors or for anyone who has a claim against the corporation. Okay? Now, what about shortening the corporate term? So take note, it is allowed under the revised corporation code. You can shorten the corporate term. Kunwari, perpetual default ka. When you filed your AI, you did not include there any term for which you want the corporation to exist. However, let's say after 10 years or so, you decided that you don't want to continue anymore, so you can now effect the voluntary dissolution through shortening of the corporate term. So it is by amendment, no, of the articles of incorporation, and by doing that, you submit it to the SEC, and once it is approved by the SEC, then it can be considered as having been dissolved, and they can now proceed to liquidation. Now, what about the types of involuntary dissolution? Meaning, it is not now the choice of the corporation. So, what are these? So, of course, failure to organize and commence business. Okay? Take note of the time provided under the corporation code. If you do not operate, no, within a certain period as provided under the revised corporation code, then the SEC might consider revoking, no, your certificate of registration. So the effect, of course, is that you will be dissolved. Now, fraud, no, in procuring your certificate of registration. Dati, yung mga failure to file the required reports will result in involuntary dissolution, but it is now not so strict in relation to that. Okay, but uh, just take note of all of the grounds by which the state, no, through the Securities and Exchange Commission, can step in and dissolve the corporation. Okay? Now, what are the effects? If a corporation decides to dissolve, whether voluntarily, as we have discussed, or involuntarily, or by shortening its corporate term, no, of course, no, the legal title to the properties now are transferred to the stockholders who become the co-owners of such properties. Okay? But, class, when I say this, hindi ibig sabihin biglang, oy, eto akin na to, diba? You are all co-owners. You cannot point to a specific, let's say, property of the corporation or asset of the corporation and say that that now belongs to you as a stockholder of the corporation. Then, the corporation now ceases as a body corporate to continue the business for which it was established, except for at least 3 years, which is for winding up. And that's why usually we say dissolution, liquidation, and winding up when we talk about the entire process. So, hindi naman yan mamamatay agad and then totally, no, it's not that abrupt. So, there can be some winding up. Why? Because there are pending incidents. You have to pay the creditors, no? You have to, maybe finish certain contracts which were started prior to the dissolution. So you have to consider all of this. Now, what about the liquidation per se? So it is the process, no, by which the assets of the corporation are converted into liquid assets or cash to facilitate the payment of obligations. So as the term implies, liquidation. Kasi the corporation class can have different assets. Usually there are real properties, there are even personal properties, all types, no, of properties which may be owned by the corporation or assets, and there are also receivables. So how can you now pay the creditors? If the creditors, no, have secured obligations, then it will now pertain to that particular piece of asset or property which was used as a collateral. But what if not? So you need to liquidate, no, these assets so that you can now pay your obligations. Okay? And after payment, that is the only time when the remaining balance will now be distributed to the stockholders. Okay? So, when we say that the corporation is dissolved, it does not mean that it already ceases. As I've said, it is not an abrupt thing. Okay? That let's say once the SEC approves it, wala na yung corporation. No, it still winds up. Okay? So, how do you liquidate? You can liquidate through the board of directors or the trustees. Or you can also have what? A management committee, no? Or maybe even a rehabilitation receiver if that is necessary. Okay? And paano pag sumobra dun sa period within which you can wind up, no? So, pwede pa rin naman. They can still be permitted to complete the liquidation because some matters may not be finished within that period. Okay? Now, in terms of bar questions, what it may be asked, no, in relation to liquidation. So, the types of liquidation. And then, the process of dissolution as well as liquidation. Then, the effect. And then, what is considered, no, as part of winding up. Okay? In one of the bar examinations, the question was, okay, in essay form, and it talks about the amendment of the AI by shortening the corporate term, and then the question was whether the creditors can still pursue, no, their claims against the corporation after the period, no, kasi na-shorten na nga yung period. And the answer to that particular bar question was that yes, no, the cases to be filed by the creditor can be pursued, no, it can prosper even beyond the the last day of the corporate existence of the corporation, which shortened its term. Why? Okay, so it says that it is not actually dissolved upon the expiration of the corporate term, since it continues to be a body corporate for the purposes of liquidation or winding up. Okay, so it can still continue to defend the suits filed against it. It can even file cases, no, especially if it wants to, let's say, collect sums of money, no, or to get, no, some receivables. Pwede pang gawin lahat yan during the winding up. Okay, what can it not do during the winding up? No, it might also appear in the bar examination, is to continue the purpose for which it was established in the first place. So, yung main business, hindi na pwede yon. But if you have, let's say, unfinished projects, let's say it was approved by the SEC, but you have an ongoing project which will still take, let's say, another year to be finished, then you have to comply with that. Okay? Tatapusin pa rin yon. But, kung dadagdag ka, may bago kang mga projects, no, hindi na yon pwede, no? The new projects, the new transactions will no longer be allowed, no? It will now conflict with your dissolution because you have dissolved already, so you cannot do that anymore. But any pending claim, anything to defend, no, the suits filed against the corporation, all of the transactions in relation to, let's say, payment of creditors, suppliers, let's say even labor cases, they can still, you know, continue with that and defend the corporation from such suits, such claims, all as part of the winding up of the corporate affairs.